Hello my friends, and welcome back to another Brotato Danger 5 random run, where we take two random characters, combine them using the Genetically Modified Overkill mod, grab a random weapon, and try to beat Danger 5 with it. Hope you're all doing well. As always, of course, we're using the wheel to pick our character. Oops, I need to actually put that on screen. So let's see what we've got here. We've got the Loud, which is, of course, one of the best characters for combining in the game. Just extra enemies are always fun to play around. And let's see what we're combining with it. We have... Ooh, okay. Loud with Ogre. This should be an amazing one. So, Loud, of course, means extra enemies on the field. And Ogre, when you deal enough damage to an enemy, they explode, which is awesome. So we should be able to just pop everything that we see. Let's see what weapon we're trying to use here. Screwdrivers. So if we get enough engineering damage, then everything just should be bursting. Look at this character. Everything should just be bursting all the time. So that's going to be really funny. So I think, yeah, if the landmine goes off and kills an enemy there, it should cause that enemy to then explode with the Ogre passive. So I'm really looking forward to making that work. Now, of course, as the Loud, we lose harvesting every wave. So I could roll for harvesting to offset that. You can still buy harvesting early on this character, though you don't want to keep buying harvesting. Or I could just roll, I could pick up the luck, because that's another economy stat that we could have, or I could roll for engineering. I think I'm just going to take 5 luck. We'll take a screwdriver, obviously lock a pencil, because we want additional engineering, and as the Ogre, our Ogre passive is based off of half of our HP and half of our negative attack speed governs how much damage we do with this explosion. So lowering our attack speed with the pencil actually increases our Ogre damage. It's not like a huge deal, but it is kind of nice that that happens. We'll lock a tree as well, of course, just a great econ item, and then we managed to get 5 screwdrivers with a 6th locked, so looking like we're in good shape at this moment. Screwdriver also scales reasonably well just as a melee weapon, and we start with a bunch of extra melee damage, so when we're buying a bunch of engineering, it's going to make our screwdrivers hopefully do enough per hit to set off the Ogre explosions anyways. Two levels this wave, so I could take some max HP, that will mean more damage on our explosions. I could take attack speed, which we don't want because it lowers our Ogre passive damage, but do want because, of course, we are attacking with our screwdrivers, but I think I'm just going to reroll here and we'll look for other stats that we want more. Regen is also good. This character might have trouble protecting its health, so getting early healing is nice. So I think I'm just going to pick up some regeneration. I'm really not going to worry about fixing our harvesting here, and we'll take 5% damage as well. We need to make sure that our damage output on our attacks is enough to set off our explosions. And while the damage won't affect the landmine explosions, it will affect everything else that we do. We'll buy another screwdriver and then reroll here, so we've got some level 2 screwdrivers happening. I'm going to need some move speed as well, of course. Going to need to fix that. I also would love to buy more explosion damage, obviously, dynamite, and especially explosion size, if we were lucky enough to find a plastic explosive, would be amazing things for this character to have. Getting the landmine damage to the point where it can set off the Ogre bombs, I think, is going to be pretty difficult in later waves, so we need to enjoy it while we can early, unless I get just massive amounts of engineering. Take some movement speed here, and then I'm going to pick up 2 armor, because we're definitely going to need positive armor. Buy a pencil, a tree, and upgrade a screwdriver and roll. Some more screwdriver upgrades is great. So what I'm actually going to do here is I'm going to buy the level 1, lock the level 2, and then reroll. There's a chance that we get another level 1 screwdriver showing up by doing that. A much better chance than getting a second level 2 to show up, so when you get that configuration on the waves with the guaranteed weapons, that can often be the right way to do it. So I'm going to need more healing, more maximum health, more armor, just all the defensive stats, of course, that you normally want. But I feel like we're in pretty good shape right now in terms of what we've gotten. This really is just such a powerful and super fun character combo. And doing it with this weapon is pretty interesting. Take 2 engineering here. I don't need the baby elephant. I don't think we're ever going to get the damage for the baby elephant to start the explosion chain. Crit chance on our screwdrivers. So screwdrivers do have high natural crit chance, and you can use that in order to, again, do enough damage that the ogre explosion goes off. So I think I will buy crit chance here. It doesn't affect our landmines, but it does affect our attacks. And actually, given that we're going to get a free reroll, I guess we can pick up the baby elephant. It just doesn't cost very much at that point. And then we'll roll here. I'll take a cute monkey as well, because of course I want to heal as much as possible. Alright, so I need some max HP, because I could just get overwhelmed and die still. And killing elites is going to be really tough for this character, because our attack speed is so low. So unless I get tons of damage per attack, that's going to be a problem. Blowing up that curse alien there, and can we get the other one here? Nice. Cursed enemies are both good and bad for the loud, of course, or for the ogre, because obviously curse is very powerful. But for the ogre, it can make it harder to trigger your passive. We'll get some extra movement speed, and then we will roll here and take some more % damage. And a broken mouth is exactly what I was looking for. Our max HP was garbage, so getting that is really nice. And then let's roll, take a screwdriver. Ritual we can't take. I think I will buy the jelly. I think our max HP is low enough that even the 1 health from the jelly is actually going to be really important. Gonna try not to accidentally pass a dynamite, unless I've done that already, but dynamite is one of the items where sometimes I am just completely blind to its existence, because so few builds actually want it, but the ones that do, like this one, really want it, so it can be easy to miss it by accident. Got the loot alien kill there, which is great. See if we can get this tree as well. Yeah. I love when you kill one enemy and the explosion just chains across the whole map with the ogre. It's just so satisfying. I'll take a turret. We're building engineering anyways, so might as well pick up turrets and pocket factory, stuff like that as we see them. And then here I'm going to take more engineering over the crit chance, because I still really want to get my landmines to do enough damage that they splat enemies with the ogre. Here, I will take the duct tape and the weird food, and then roll again. And small fish is a good way for the... this is obviously a super synergistic item for the ogre, because it increases the damage that your passive explosions do, and makes you more likely that you're going to double one-shot enemies in order to set off those explosions. Even though we're playing the loud and losing harvesting, fertilizer is still worth it, because it just offsets the economy penalty faster. Ugly Tooth is going to be pretty good against elites, so I will buy it here, and I'm going to pass on the Claw Tree because I think we can do better. So right now my landmines are exploding for not nearly enough to set off the splat. I've decided on splat for the ogre passive because it's evocative and it's only 1 syllable, so I don't have to keep saying, when you trigger your ogre passive. I don't remember if that's one of the ones someone suggested when I asked for suggestions. Oops, I almost died there just by walking into a bunch of enemies. But if you did, then thank you. Here, I could take 3 armor or 4 engineering. I think we're just going to keep buying engineering whenever we see it. Though I will take 10 luck over 8% damage, because this is one of the ways we can generate economy, which is still pretty important. Baby Squid, amazing for this character. We desperately need regeneration, so that will help a ton. We're going to get a lot of levels, because we're playing the loud, so we're just killing a lot of stuff. And we'll buy a screwdriver here. We will lock a small fish. By the way, I'm going with level 3 screwdrivers over combining to level 4, which you get more landmines if you combine them to level 4, but what we actually care about is the damage from the weapons more than the quantity of mines right now. So that's why we're doing a bunch of level 3 screwdrivers. Now, of course, what I would love is to get construct attack speed. If we got Clockwork Wasp, if we got, I guess not improved tools, since we have hugely negative attack speed. Whenever these groups of small enemies spawn, we can use them to just blow up whole hosts of the tougher enemies alongside all the small ones. So we just get a huge amount of damage out of those from splatting them. Like there, we just dealt, 200 damage to the cursed anglerfish there, and that made it very easy to finish killing it. Take a weird food here. I'm definitely taking 9 max HP. Our max HP was terrible, so fixing that helps a lot. Lifesteal, not particularly good for this character, given that we attack so slowly, so I think I will pass on the whetstone. I'll take the compass, though, fixing my move speed and getting more engineering. More landmines, sure, and I am going to buy the campfire, because we currently have almost no healing, so campfire is still going to be good for us. And then gentle alien, the more enemies you get for the ogre, the more explosions you can make, and we'll take a lure as well. Do I want the alien tongue? Yeah, probably. Picking up materials is something that this character is having a little bit of trouble with right now. It's also good because we have a lot of consumable healing and are a very short-range melee character, so extra pickup radius helps us heal by making consumable pickups more reliable. The best item for us is still plastic explosive. If we could get increased explosion size, that would be amazing. I wouldn't say that this is the most challenging combination, of course, but it's such a fun one that I'm really enjoying it anyways. We're gonna lose, I don't know, 100 materials at the end of the wave. I'm not sure how much negative harvesting we're at this point, but it's a lot. Actually, we only lost, we only have minus 19. I guess I got the fertilizer. Okay, a Clockwork Wasp. Awesome. This is exactly what we were looking for. We'll take the little frog. I'm not worried about dodge, and that will offset the harvesting penalty, and more pickup radius is good, like we talked about already. And then here, I could take 4 melee damage, basically, so 4 damage on all our weapons, but let's just get some max health. I need more armor as well, but max health, again, increases the damage of the ogre explosions. And you want that to be high enough damage that it one-shots enemies, because then it will chain across multiple enemies. A pearl, we have 35 luck, so yeah, we can buy a pearl. We can do a campfire as well, and we'll roll here. Scar, bait, and Cyclops worm, all pretty solid items for us also. With so many enemies on the field, even with only 35 luck, the Pearl will be pretty good, because we're very likely to drop crates every wave. Just, we have a lot of chances with the increased enemy spawns. And so, even with only a 3% chance of dropping a crate, we're reasonably likely to get a free Pearl. And if we get multiples of those, then they're really impactful, of course. Just watching the other side of the map just explode. Got a bunch of curse here, which is nice. And everything else just died over there. Also getting... One nice thing, too, is that we get the regen for leveling up, even if we then de-level because of the harvesting loss. Not that our harvesting is actually that negative. So unfortunately, improved tools we can't take on this character. It would, if we weren't playing the Ogre, be amazing for, you know, Loud with screwdrivers would love it. Little muscly dude is great. I'll take the Goblet. Enemies should be dying constantly, so we should be getting tons of healing from that. We'll take more engineering and then roll. And do I want armor or max HP or damage? I think I want armor. 3 armor is just kind of rough going into an elite wave on Abyssal Terrors. I'm going to take the bait here because we should be able to just pop those bait aliens right off the start. It should not interfere with fighting the elite. And then we're going to take a mouse as well. Increased enemy spawns continue to be really good for this character. And obviously, I talked about how Plastic Explosive is the best item for us already, and we're very excited to see it. Sunken Bell or Broken Mouth. I think I want the Broken Mouth. Oh, I can just buy both. I was thinking I wanted the Broken Mouth going into the Elite Wave, but we can just buy both. I think our damage output per attack, even though we attack really slow, we've got decent healing, and our damage per attack is high enough. I think we should be able to kill the Elite without too much difficulty here. This Elite is also a little easier to fight than to run away from, because you can just circle around it in a spiral in the middle of the map here to do damage to it. But running away, it can sometimes be difficult to predict where all of its attacks are going to go. So we got the elite kill. Not the cleanest elite kill. I took more damage than I needed to there, but there are a lot of enemies on the field, of course, and with slow attack speed, it can be very difficult to keep the path clear. So it makes it harder to fight elites, both because you kill them slower with your low attack speed, but also because you're just not hitting enemies. The other reason that attack speed typically is what governs whether you can fight elites or not. We'll take the lure here. We don't have any crit chance currently, but I'll probably buy some, so I'll take the lucky coin. We'll take 4 armor as well. Yep, all of these items, great. We've got all of these items. Now, unfortunately, the lighthouse doesn't do... We will just keep buying structures, but for now, it just gives us plus 11 engineering, which is still really nice. So I'm going to take the lighthouse. It's a little too late for the piggy bank. Alien Worm I will buy. We've got enough consumable heal. We can sacrifice some, and more HP and more regen is really important to this character. So yeah, I really want more crit chance, because that's going to let me splat enemies much more easily. This is where I'm going to find out that splat now means something very obscene in the language of kids these days. Which has happened a couple times to me before. I would love a pocket factory, not because it's that amazing for this character, but just because I would love a pocket factory. And pile of books, this makes any crit chance that we get just awesome. So, amazing find for us. Being able to critically hit and deal double damage to enemies is going to be incredible. I'm actually going to take 5 crit chance over the 9 movement speed, because I now really just want to get as much crit chance as I can. I will buy a Weird Ghost. I need more max HP, and we have 15 regen, so I think we should be okay. Alien Eyes, another way to just blow up enemies by doing a ton of damage based on our max health. Wheelbarrow, we're going to pass on. Crown, unfortunately, we're going to pass on because it doesn't do anything for this character. We've already got 1 Weird Ghost, so we'll definitely buy another one, and we'll take a screwdriver here, and then I'll roll, buy another screwdriver, a cake, and padding I guess I'll buy as well. It's an inefficient source of HP, but it is a source of HP, which of course we do want. I need to be a little careful of the lampreys when I break that blobfish. Oh, took that hit there, and so the sunken bell went off, but that was kind of nice. I wouldn't mind a Rip and Tear also. That would be a nice item to find, because that could also help us set off the explosions. We've managed to collect a decent amount of curse as well, which of course is really nice. Hopefully we can get a powerful cursed item. A cursed screwdriver would be amazing. I'll take a black belt here. Yes, I do want additional luck, but the extra XP gain is really good for us, and then more crit chance also gives us more luck. Here, I could take 9 HP, I could take 15 luck. I think I'm going to reroll. I feel like we can do better. Yeah, let's take some engineering here. Grab another screwdriver, and tardigrade, I don't think we care about at all, really. We're just going to have the incoming damage is going to be way higher than that. 1 damage instance is just not going to make a difference. Another screwdriver, though, that'll make a difference, as will a tree, and fairy will make an incredible difference, especially going into the next elite wave. So what I'm hoping is to see some of these smaller enemies start setting off mines and splatting themselves that way. And that did indeed just happen. Ideally, we get our landmine damage high enough and our ogre passive damage high enough that we can just sit back and watch everything blow itself up. I would love a starfish as well. That would be one way we could massively increase our economy if we could increase material drops from enemies. I can't remember if we have a bag or not. Also, I think we do. I think we've got 1 bag. But with decent luck and this many enemies on the field, bags should be worth a lot. But we're actually making less money than I would have kind of expected that we would have at this point in the run. I'll take a fairy here. We'll take baby elephant. I think, just want the blood leech. And yeah, we'll buy a cake. A silver bullet to kill elites faster. Would have been nice to get that before this wave, but still really good. Take a screwdriver and another cake. So this is going to be a more difficult elite because it does charge at us. So it can be tough to fight this one as a melee character. But one thing that we've got going for us, too, is that it's just constantly taking incendiary turret damage. It's constantly taking explosion damage from the other enemies. So if we stack up a bunch of other enemies on top of it, it's going to take explosion damage from those. You see there, it just took a big burst of damage. The downside is that we're actually too good at killing everything else on the field. There we go. That was so satisfying. Just all of those enemies charged on top of the elite and then just blew it up all in one go. We're actually too good at killing the other stuff on the field, so there was no time to stack enemies on top of the elite in order to stack a bunch of explosions on it. Vanishing the whole wave there. I wish we had a horde wave. We got only elites this run. Yeah, I'll take more crit chance. And we'll take a fish hook, a potato. I will take as well, even though it's going to cost me 1 regen off the fairy. It's just a bunch of great defensive stats. Take some move speed because we're a little low on that. And then let's go ahead and buy some more items here. An exoskeleton, 5 engineering, we're very happy with, so we'll buy that, of course. Even though it cost me some healing, everything else it gives us is amazing. Lock a lucky charm here. I'm going to reroll. A cursed screwdriver would be great. And a cursed alien eyes I would be very happy with as well. I'm rerolling once there because we have a fish hook, so I would have liked to lock a 4th item. That guy's house exploded, and now he's mad, and, you know, I can't blame him. It's the plot of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. getting a decent amount of additional curse here. We also procced at least one loot alien this wave. Oh, there's a second one. Nice. And yeah, 4 crates this wave. Amazing. So I guess I'll take the adrenaline. We're not currently building dodge, but if I get a bunch of dodge for cheap, then I'll pick it up. Coffee, I'm going to recycle. I still want to keep my attack speed negative. I'll recycle the lens as well, because we don't have any use for that. We'll take engineering. Actually, maybe I could have taken crit chance as well. Engineering, of course, is really powerful for this character, but crit chance does increase the base. Also works on our landmines because we have pile of books. So normally engineering is better for the screwdriver, of course, because the crit chance doesn't really do anything for most of what you're doing. But for this character, it does. Buy both of these, and then we'll re-roll, and I'll lock a hedgehog. It's a level 1 item we don't have yet. I'll lock a missile, kind of the perfect item for this character. And I don't think we need the wheat, even if it got cursed. We are getting the hardest elites to fight, given the weaponing character that we have, but somehow I don't think it's going to matter that much. We have double silver bullet as well. The elite just vanished there, just all the explosions combined with the weapon attacks just took it out. I am definitely regretting not taking the crit chance in the last level up screen, because we have a lucky coin, we have a pile of books, so crit chance is actually really good for us. On the other hand, it mostly doesn't matter what we buy, of course. Yeah, we'll take an extra stomach. We're very happy to pick up additional HP, and nail, amazing. Obviously the perfect item for this character. I do lose armor, which I would like to keep high, but this way we can maybe potentially, even though we are not getting as much dodge, you know, even though we're still low on dodge, we can maybe use the adrenaline if we buy the dodge there. I'm going to take 3 armor here. I was trying to remember if one of these characters had a dodge penalty, because it looked like we got less dodge than I thought we would, but I had just completely miscounted the different, you know, I couldn't add 1 to 10 successfully, so that's what was going on there. Black Flag, of course, is going to be a ton of extra money, even in the last couple waves. Coil should be pretty good as well, so I'm going to lock both of these, and then I'm going to roll, lock a screwdriver, we'll buy a hedgehog as well, and hopefully our fishhook gets one of those items cursed, which would be really nice. Now, the downside of the Black Flag is it makes it much less likely that we splat enemies, because they have more health, and they're more likely to be cursed. Wow, that's so many pufferfish explosions. The Loud is actually quite a bit harder to play on Abyssal Terrors for exactly this reason. Pufferfish are really dangerous, and they become exponentially more dangerous in multiples. Like, 4 of them are much more than 4 times as dangerous as one of them is. So when you have really high enemy spawn rates, such as when you're playing the Loud, Abyssal Terrors does have a threat that Crash Zone doesn't really, that can really just take you out, even though this is a very powerful character that's always going to be ahead of the curve, economically. Yep, more crit chance we will take, and we'll recycle this statue, and yeah, I'm not going to make the same mistake. We're going to keep buying more crit chance. So we're up to almost 100% crit on our actual weapon attacks. Our coil got cursed, so that's kind of nice. We'll get some extra percent damage there. Here, I guess I'll just sell the level 1 screwdriver, and then we'll buy these 2. And then we'll roll, buy another screwdriver. Medical turret, I guess that's a way to heal, so I'll pick that up as well, and we'll lock a cursed screwdriver. Perfect. Lucky charm doesn't really do anything in the boss wave, but I might lock it anyways, because it does increase our damage with the pearl and our chance to heal. And then if we get a cursed sunglasses there, that should max out our crit chance on our weapon attacks. Not quite on our landmines because they have no base crit chance, so they only get the crit that's listed on our character sheet, not because screwdrivers have base critical hit chance, so we don't need a full 100% crit to crit every time when we attack with those. But with the landmines, you do need 100% crit to make those critically hit on every attack. Never did find a pocket factory, sadly. Or a dynamite, unless, as aforementioned, I passed it, which is very possible. Somehow I think we're going to survive, though. We managed to get pretty good pickup radius, so I'm actually able to pick up most of the materials on the ground here, even though we're a landmine build, which is really nice. Okay, honey is amazing. Extra explosion damage and size, of course. Great. We'll recycle the coffee here. Recycling machine doesn't do anything at this point, but I'll pick up 2 armor, and then we'll get some more cursed items. And a pass on the Lucky Charm when it's not cursed. Take a screwdriver, get everything up to level 4, which is great. Fin, we don't need, I guess, unless I specifically find a cursed screwdriver, the knot is just a ton of extra damage, so we will buy it here, guaranteeing that we're going to find a cursed screwdriver in the next couple rolls. Take a leather vest, whistle doesn't do anything, Kraken's Eye does, though. And then let's roll again, and we can take a helmet. This Cursed Lure and the Cyber Ball would both have been really nice as well. You can see, even in only 2 waves, we made almost 400 materials off the Black Flag, so this one was amazing. Black Flag on the Loud, of course, is just ridiculous. And then, even with our very low attack speed, although I do need to be careful not to just let myself get blown up by the whale, we should be able to kill these bosses very quickly, while everything else around us just shatters into a million pieces. The 2025 experience. Alright, my friends, I hope that you have enjoyed this run. And of course, if you have, then feel free to leave a comment and hit like. Helps me out with the algorithm. Let's take a look at our items here. We've dealt 100k damage from the baby elephant. We did only 25k from this turret, even though we were an engineering build, but that's still pretty good for a level 1 turret. We got 16 regen from the baby squid. Coupons saved us 650. 230 healing off this goblet, which is really nice. That's way more than you usually get. And then, of course, finding the plastic explosive was great. All these lures were awesome. 17k damage from incendiary turret. It mostly didn't have anything to shoot because we were just blowing everything up right away. We ended up with still plus 10 engineering on the lighthouse, so we just never found any more structures after we bought the lighthouse. Yeah, 100k damage on baby elephant. Our fishhook actually did pretty well. We got, I guess, 4 items cursed, I think. These were all fishhook curses. And then the 2 screwdrivers were just natural ones, but 4 cursed items is still pretty good given that we got this pretty late. 24 HP from the extra stomach, and 415 materials from Black Flag at the end of the run as well. Alien Eyes only dealt 63k, so the Alien Eyes here were actually very disappointing given that we had 3 of them. But again, we were just blowing everything else up before we could make it work. Our Adrenaline also, I assume, did nothing because we ended up with only 12% dodge. Oh, actually 10 HP recovered, but obviously dodge was not a primary strategy for this character. And then the big one, our Ogre passive, dealt almost 200k damage and just blew up almost everything. Alright, my friends, as I said, of course, if you enjoyed the video, leave a comment, hit like, helps me out, and of course you can subscribe to my channel for more Brotato and other strategy game analysis. Cheers, folks. I'll catch you next time.